The reason why we limit the extent of related party transactions is of the difficulties of recovery. So you might say that, well, it's still loan owed by an individual or an entity. And then we can use the civil term that is non-performing loan. But in fact, what you have done is that you have been able to dip into depositors' funds and use it for your own private businesses and refuse to pay back.
May I just say a word very quickly?
Okay.
I did not say that there were loans given to the shareholders or related parties. I said that these properties were held in trust for the bank, and that when the issue came up, they were disclosed, and that if these were misstatements, there's a remedy and a punishment regime for it under the law. That's what I said. I didn't say there were loans.
So about the point you make, the Attorney General is telling you that, look, I'm looking at the money. I'm looking at the expense the state has to go to seek to recover something. And I'm looking into the future. I'm saying if this matter will take us how many years, by the time we are done, I probably may have nothing, to sort of recover, even if I won. So this is the best way. You say this is a crime for having, make this fictitious sort of booking. Well, that's a crime. So you should be prosecuted. He says, I'm more interested in recovering money than prosecution.
No, this is important. The fact that the Attorney General, and I defer to the Attorney General's logic and how he wants to be able to conduct this matter, says that because of my estimation of the difficulty of recovery in certain matters, I'm taking a different approach, does not excuse criminal conduct or criminal liability. It doesn't. It doesn't grant anybody a moral platform to come and now suggest as if they have done nothing wrong in the first place. And it's as if this is where the rebranding of the conversation is going to, that these individuals were completely infallible, did nothing wrong in this contest, and now look, even the Attorney General is now vindicating them. At no point did the Attorney General suggest so. The Attorney General says, I have looked at the difficulty of how we can recover some of the monies made. And when he's talking about recovery of monies is not relating to the crime of cooking the books. He himself admitted that there was a lot of book cooking that happened. So when he's talking about recovery, he's only talking about money that I can be able to get. There's no doubt, even in terms of the receiver's attempts to recover money from Unibank, that there's been so many challenges. The matter was first struck out, they went to arbitration, they are challenging the arbitration. We're just going back and forth on the process of how we're able to recover the money from.
In 6 years, so you two witnesses.
This is a question that invites us to be able to re-look at our judicial system. It is not a question to now allow other people to suggest that we were always holy in the first place. And that's what I kind of see a rebranding of the conversation.
But they say that they admitted from the start, from the outset, that this 2.1 billion is money that, was fictitiously
now, you see,
put in
I have
there.
never
so they haven't said they
I
are
have never
infallible.
held a million CD before. So when I hear things like it is only 3.7 or 2.3 billion, I quiver in my boots to say that we are talking about huge sums of money. When somebody says that, oh, oops, you caught me, I can bring back the money and be free. What are we talking about? These are huge sums of money. So it's a question of also, again, the criminal justice system is not only set up as a state for the recovery of monies alone. And if the driving logic is that whenever people caught themselves in this case, we take how much we can get and go away, we must think about the repercussions of whether or not we are disciplining conduct within the banking system, generally for everybody, for the posterity. So I have no problem if the Attorney General says, even if we are going to lose this money, posterity and the health of our economy for the long term requires that we must take these decisions and go forward with it. Even in the question of the wage capital, whether even though money has been, well, let's say at the status of affairs now, that the Attorney General says we've lost the criminal case, it doesn't stop a civil case from going forward. A civil case is a recovery which is a bit different standard of proof. So it doesn't stop that. Recovery can still pursue. Civil recoveries can still go on.
And this is a point the Attorney General has affirmed.
Yes.
That is a civil process that is seeks to recover money.
So the civil process must go on. But the criminal implications of individuals within our society that are able to misuse public depositor funds or obscure their use of depositor funds and then invite the state to put in money, so much billions to be able to save them because too big to fail, or we must be able to protect depositors because there might be a run on fund managers and other things.
Does it not matter, or does it matter that the bank's exposure to the government was partly the reason they were in the circumstances
I see these arguments all the time. Government borrows money from every bank. The portion of what the government owes the bank does not impair the bank's capital ratio position. Like, it is not so significant has to be an excuse or a red herring that we use to divert the conversation. Yes, the government owes everybody. The government owes individuals who are waiting for tax refunds. It doesn't mean that when they commit crime, you say that, but you owe me money, that's why I couldn't pay, or I was hungry at a particular time. That's the kind of straw argument that is being set up in this case. So the question is, in the significant time when the decision to revoke the license was made, was the amount owed by government so significant that if it was paid, it would have saved the bank? No. There's a suggestion, and what you have referenced to, Dame's advice. Dame's advice is not saying that the revocation is incorrect and improper in law. Dame says that his view is that Section 114 cannot lead to the appointment of a receiver or the termination of a license. He's referring to the report made under Section 114. He has not said at any point that the Bank of Ghana cannot exercise its powers. Based on information that was received from the receiver, and say that there's been Section 16 breach, or for which reason I'm going under Section 123 and appoint a receiver. There's nothing that impugns that decision that the bank is capable to make. In fact, the only base, and it's not true that the